Well, welcome back to another episode of the Church Security Made Simple podcast. I am so glad that you are joining me, and if this is your first time, a big welcome. My name is Simon Osimo, and I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Kingswood Security Consulting and the Worship Security Academy. Now, in this episode today, I'm going to be going over what is the Worship Security Academy and how can it help you. Now, a lot of people often ask me, well, Simon, what is the Worship Security Academy? So I thought I'd just drop in for this mini episode and tell you a little bit about the Worship Security Academy. Now, my friend Chris Maloney at Sheepdog Church Security Academy, he often calls one of my products the Netflix of church safety and security. And in a way, it really is, because let me start off there talking about what I call my video coach. Now it is, there's about 50 hours, something like 70 videos, so much different learning in there. And it really is the Netflix of church safety and security. So a little bit about the history then. So in 2017, I started this online video training platform. And it's grown now to have courses on a Church Safety 101 that covers threat detection, child sexual offences, run, hide, fight, conflict de-escalation. There is a threat detection course which is around 3.5 hours long, which is for safety leaders, which is for safety team members that really want to go a little bit deeper as to how do we detect behavior-based threats, and then how do we disrupt that in a church through what I call conversational interviewing. So Threat Detection 101 is around a 3.5 hour course. I've just recently added an active shooter intervention and disruption course. So one of the Jewish Relations Council in the US commissioned me to build them an active shooter awareness training program. And we've been rolling this out to synagogues across the US, and I've now taken the learnings from that course, and that is a 90-minute course, self-directed learning on how to intervene, how to disrupt, and how to survive an active shooter. And then a conflict de-escalation course, which is in the final stages, which is really close, and actually based off my book, my 10 powerful strategies for conflict de-escalation. That is going to be released imminently, just within the next few weeks. And then we have the video coach that I mentioned, which has hours upon hours of video learning. And I also have a 5-week group coaching program, which is actually, again, based off my book, Securing Church Operations. So I have a 7-step plan that I believe all houses of worship need to follow to stay safe. And I had people reaching out saying, Simon, well, how do we get to the next step? How do we grow our program? And I realized that I didn't necessarily need consulting, is that they needed mentoring and coaching. So I've turned my book, Securing Church Operations, into a 5-week group coaching program. All these online offerings are found on the Worship Security Academy, worshipsecurity.org. So it was in around 2017 I started to do that. I want to tell you a little bit of history, really, as to how did the Worship Security Academy come about? Well, like many of the church security sort of gurus, experts, people in the field, there's most probably only 5, 6, 7 of us that have been doing this for any great length of time. I've been coming up to doing this for a decade now. In around 2006, I was traveling the country, educating church leaders, safety teams, volunteers on safety and security. And even I myself, I was starting to think, well, there has to be a new way. There's got to be a different way to do this rather than me fly around the country and always training in person. Because one of the things that I would hear from my clients was Simon, the cost. How do we sustain the training? It's great that you've come and educated us on threat detection. It's great that you come and educated us on conflict de-escalation. But how are we going to sustain that Bob or Michael or Dave missed the training? What happens? Do we get you back? And at that time, I had no response other than, well, yeah, you're going to have to book me again. I'm going to jump on a plane and I'm going to come and do the training for those people that have been missed. So it was then that I really sort of had my own sort of revelation. I thought, okay, I need to change how I'm doing this to make this more affordable, more accessible. And it was around sort of 2017 that I really started to record my own videos. So here in Minnesota, I host a sort of regional conference called Securing Your Place of Worship. We're now up to our 8th annual event. This coming year will be our 8th annual event. So I started to record those events. If I went training, I would take my videographer and we'd record. If someone on my team was training, again, my videographer would go and record. And we got people in there like Carl Chin, Tina Rowe, Dr. James Densley from the Violence Project, Wes Peterson, safety director of Eaglebrook Church. They're like the 4th or 5th largest church in the country. There's so many people in there offering so much knowledge and wisdom. And it really is arguably, as Chris Maloney says, it is arguably one of the largest church collections of safety and security, not only trainings, but videos out there. Like I said, Chris calls it the Netflix of church safety and security, and it's really stuck with me. That's sort of what that is. So that's a bit about how it sort of came about. Now, how does it help leaders and how does it help people like you? Well, all the trainings inside the Worship Security Academy are biblically based trainings. So I am a Christian. I serve on my church safety team. I'm an advisor to my church. I help thousands of churches across the country, and everything I teach is a biblically based basis, because we have to understand that we're not healthcare. We're not a school. We're not a commercial property. We are a church where we bibelieve that everyone that comes to our church has been saved or can be saved. And we still believe that there's good people in this world. So we have a biblically based understanding. It's how we break through those cultural barriers. We're not reporting on people. These are people that we can save. If there's suspicious activity, we're not reporting on that person. This is someone I'm going to lean into and find out how can I help them and where are they in their faith journey. So it can help you if you're looking for biblically based security training. If you want to do training or enjoy training from the privacy of your own home or from your armchair, then again, these trainings are great for you because you can stop, you can start, you can watch videos, and you can just go back, rewatch them again, and then finish the course. Now, most of them have a short test at the end. And how can this help you? Well, what people are looking for are standardized testing. So the advantage of doing video-based learning is that you have a standardized training and then testing program. But everyone that goes through those courses has been trained in the same way, but then taken the same test. So having a standardized approach is something that I'm hearing from safety leaders across the country. Now, one of the other things that you get is from my decades of experience. Now, I've had coming up to 25 years as a public servant between law enforcement, a director of risk and compliance at large organizations like US Bank, Wells Fargo, Equinity Trust Company, overseeing risk management programs, 3 years at Mall of America overseeing counterterrorism, being head of a behavior detection program, and training thousands of people across the country, authoring several books on different subjects. So you get the advantage of my knowledge and my wisdom right to your doorstep or right to your home, wherever you are watching. And again, how can it help you is that there's 4 or 5 different distinct training programs. We're adding to that all the time. And again, the video library is one of the largest collections with so much information in there, for everything from insurance to stay in compliance to how to run safety teams. There's numerous ways how the Worship Security Academy can help you. And now some of my larger clients like Riverside Church here in Minnesota and Woodside Bible in Troy, Michigan, they have 50, 100 people in the platform going through the training. So it is a great way to get standardized approach. And some of the largest churches in the country are in the platform, are using it for training materials. So if you're considering looking at some of those programs, know that there's a great way to build consistency, have sustainability in your program, and have standardized teaching. That is a great way for it. The one thing that I would love for you to do, so I've spoken quite a lot there about what is the Worship Security Academy, and as my gift to you, and from listening to this podcast and knowing I want to help you grow in your journey, there is a link below. If you type in the word podcast into the coupon code, you will get 20% off all the trainings in that platform. That is a code that you can share far and wide with other people in your faith community. But if you use the code podcast, you will get 20% off the trainings as my gift to you, so you can get into the sort of the bank of trainings and see what resonates with you and perhaps share it with other people in there. So if you're looking to learn from the comfort of your own chair, please go and consider taking a look at the Worship Security Academy. As Chris Maloney says from Sheepdog, it is the Netflix of church safety and security, and you'll find so much on the inside which is going to help you grow your safety ministry. So I want to keep it short and just tell you a little bit about what the Worship Security Academy is. Remember, you can use the code podcast to get a 20% discount on all the trainings that are inside the platform. Now, you have a blessed day. You stay safe, and I shall see you in that next episode. Take care, everybody.